So some of the transfer rumors in Europe with focus on Cristiano Ronaldo, whether he's staying on Manchester United or not. The fans are worried. We'll find out. But how about Paul Pogba? We're being told that he's injured, and already the followers and the management of Juventus are looking for the signature of Brazilian international Roberto Firmino, who plays for Liverpool. We'll find out how it goes in the coming days. It's now time for us to do some talking on sports world, and today's biggest news is the announcement by Sebastian Vettel that he's quitting F1 after the end of the season. We have in the studio F1 expert, gentleman who have been following the sports for many years. He's telling us what it means to the sports and what the gentleman's contribution has been so far. Nii Saki, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Okay, like I told you, we were greeted by this news. I never saw it coming. Were you expecting it?
Not exactly, but there have been hints and rumors of him leaving the sport for some time now. But just last week, he was talking about staying on in Formula One beyond the 2022 season. So seeing the news this morning, it came as a very big shock. Okay.
What has been his contribution to this very sport? We've been told that he became very well known only in 2007? How would you describe Sebastian Vettel as a racing expert? How would you describe him?
Well, he holds the record for being the youngest Formula One champion of all time for now. And with his first race in the USA Grand Prix in 2007, he placed 8th, which was rather remarkable.
At the age of 19?
Yes, at the age of 19. He placed 8th in his first race. And a year later, he won his next race, becoming the youngest race winner in Formula One, and up until Max Verstappen won in Spain in 2016.
So certainly what Schumacher has done for the sports, becoming probably the greatest ever F1 as a German, is being replicated by Vettel until this very announcement, I can say so.
Yes.
Because he's won 4 world titles
in a row.
Yeah. That is remarkable.
Very, very. With the way the sport is cut through it. Yes, very remarkable. Okay,
I'll go back to the announcement again. I listened to that emotional statement that came from the camp of Vettel. But what does it mean to the sport? Is it too early for him to quit, or you think that the young laps are mounting pressure now? He's only 35. The reason he gave was that he needed to concentrate on his family.
Yes, he's been talking about wanting to spend more time with his wife and his kids for quite a while now. But looking at his performance over the last couple of years especially, and after his time with Ferrari, there's been a bit of a downward trajectory. Okay. So I think he's just doing the smart thing to call it quits early.
Are the kids mounting pressure? And I'm talking about young lads that are coming. Are they mounting pressure on him?
They are mounting pressure on everybody.
Well, pretty soon you're seeing Sebastian Vettel. We'll see videos of what he has done so far in F1. But that is the news that greeted us today. The German, 35 years, 4-time world champion, decided that he's quitting the sport after so many years. There you see it. Let's listen to that message a while, and we'll be back in the studio. Let's listen to Sebastian Vettel once again.
I hereby announce my retirement from Formula One by the end of the 2022 season. Probably I should start with a long list of people to thank now, but I feel it is more important to explain the reasons behind my decision. I love this sport. It has been central to my life since I can remember. But as much as there's life on track, there's my life off track too. Being a racing driver has never been my sole identity. I very much believe in identity by who we are and how we treat others, rather than what we do. Who am I? I'm Sebastian, father of 3 children and husband to a wonderful woman. I am curious and easily fascinated by passionate or skilled people. I am obsessed with perfection. I am tolerant and feel we all have the same right.
That script to say I'm retiring was quite emotional, was well strict. What do you make of what we just listened? This is just a summary. But let's read meaning into what he just said. What does it mean to us?
It's touching, and it shows you that beyond the helmets and the cars, there are human beings with real lives outside of the sport. And there are things that affect them that have nothing to do with the sport.
What are we going to miss in Vettel? What are we going to miss at the end of the season?
His energy, and particularly his drive for Formula One to become sustainable when it comes to fueling and all of that. Yeah. That particular championing that he's doing for sustainable fuel in motorsports is very commendable, because with all the fossil fuel burning that's going on, taking that path, it's been quite brave. And when you look at the British Grand Prix, Silverstone, he drove Nigel Mansell's Williams FWB 14, and he was running it on carbon neutral fuel.
Okay.
And then last week, on Sunday, at Paul Ricard, he drove a 100-year-old Aston Martin.
That's interesting.
On sustainable fuel.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, with the Williams one that he drove at Silverstone, it's his personal car.
Oh, okay.
He bought it from the team, and he had them work on the components in the engine so that it would be able to run on sustainable fuel. I think that particular driver is very, very commendable.
Okay. Which part of the F1 fraternity is going to miss the gentleman mugs? What are we going to mix? I'm a F1, you one, but which of the fraternity is going to miss Vettels present on the tracks next season?
The old guard, mostly.
Yeah.
The old guys who are still on the track, like Fernando Alonso, like Hamilton. Those old guys are going to miss him. And some of the younger guys who have worked alongside him, like the current Ferrari lead driver, Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc joined Ferrari while Seb was still the lead driver. Okay. Outperforming him was what more or less got Seb to leave and to move to Aston Martin. Okay. So even with Aston Martin and with Lance Stroll, Lawrence Stroll, the owner of the team, and the rest of the team principals, Mike Crack and so on, everybody is talking about how much contribution he has made to them as a team, and how much the information he has given them technically is going to help them to develop, become better, and start winning races in the future.
Is it going to be very difficult to get a driver like Verstappen coming from the German angle again? Remember that when Schumacher left, it's taken us a very long time till he appeared, and he's not leaving at the end of the season. Are we going to get somebody like him again, looking at what you're seeing?
It's difficult to tell, because the Germans are not really showing that much interest in Formula One. Okay. The German Grand Prix is not on the calendar. Yeah. It wasn't on the calendar last year. And they are really not looking to bring any German driver back into Formula One, unless they're not bringing the Grand Prix back unless they have a German driver in the cars there.
What will be his legacy?
4 straight world championships, undisputed, with Red Bull.
This is Sports World. My name is Phil John Quartey. We're looking at that announcement that greeted us in Formula One today. Sebastian Vettel, 35, 4-time world champion, saying that enough is enough. I'm going to focus on my family at the end of the season. And we're looking at it with Nii Saki, who's F1 expert. Now that he's retired at the end of the season, I'm sure most of the old guys will be saying, okay, maybe, just maybe, let's relax now. He's gone, though he's not challenging for the trophy or the title. But what would it mean, that pressure on the other guys to also say that, okay, let's leave for the next generation for them to focus? Believe me, Hamilton has grabbed it, Alonso has grabbed it before. Would they also be under pressure to do the same thing?
I think they're already under pressure. And it's getting to time for a change of the guard. Yeah. Ham is still going strong, as we can see.
I like what you just said, to change the guard, because Sebastian said that he knows that the young laps are getting to the groove already. So you think these guys also need to leave already, or anybody has got his own opinion or got different noses and different opinion?
I believe everybody has their own opinion. Yeah. And if the older guys feel they can still give the young guys a run for their money, sure, why not? But if they start becoming less and less competitive, I'm sure they'll start looking at the writing on the wall.
What should the various racing clubs or the drivers, those who own the driving, how do you call it, that various
like the different teams?
Yeah, the teams. What does it mean to them when they are losing veterans like Sebastian Vettel and co? What does it mean to them? Business go down, branding affected, or what does it mean?
There's a lot of business that will go away with Vettels leaving the sport.
Tell us more about it. I know he's a brand already. I mean,
exactly.
But tell us more into it.
So you have somebody who's won with Red Bull, who said he's given Red Bull their highest number of victories. Yeah. 53 wins. with one team, that's quite a significant number. And for all the sponsors that have been with him since he joined BMW Sauber in 2007 up until now, they've had a good ride, but it's going to be quite a big blow, especially for the German side of things.
Who should we look up to replace him in his team now as the #1 driver? Who should we be looking at and why?
Well, in his team, since he's with Lance Stroll, naturally I would expect that Lance would take a team lead over whoever else would join the team. But looking at who can join the team, the options are, there are quite a few young people coming in from F2, like Nick De Vries from the Mercedes team and Liam Lawson from the Red Bull Junior team. So there's a possibility one of them might get a call up to the seat for the 2022 season.
Well, just before we go, the next Grand Prix will be in Hungary. Is it Budapest?
Yes, Budapest.
Budapest. He will be on the tracks again,
yes,
once
he'll be
again.
on the track.
What will be the feeling, what will be the emotions, knowing very well this gentleman is leaving? Among the drivers, they'll be thinking, should we give him the way to win a farewell in Budapest, or maybe somehow? What will be the atmosphere like?
Everybody will take him out if they can. It's a ruthless sport.
Crazy.
It's a ruthless sport.
Think about how?
No, I mean, if you can get a jump on him and overtake him, go ahead, take it. There will be no mercy. He's a 4-time world champion. I mean, what can give you more joy than taking out a world champion in a race? So yes, I don't think anybody's going to play nice.
Okay, when he sits down and he said, okay, let me write a book, what do you think Vettel will be writing that very book after winning 4 world championships? What will he be writing about?
Looking at the things he's been talking about recently, I expect that he'll be talking more about how the sport should open up to more people and bring in people of different genders and so on. And with his quest for all this sustainable stuff, he'll probably be talking about family, about making the world a better place. And I expect some of it to be about things that go on behind the scenes in F1, some of the struggles and challenges that he's had to get to where he's gotten to and all of that. I expect a lot of information about what goes on behind the scenes to come out if he does release a book.
Should he walk into this very store, what would he tell Vettel?
I'll kneel down and ask him to anoint me.
Nii Saki, thank you very much for passing through. As and when we invite you once again.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I've been speaking to Nii Saki, who is F1 expert, about that announcement that greeted us today that Sebastian Vettel, the 4-time world champion, will be quitting the sport at the end of the season. But just before we wrap up Sports World, let's find out how Ghana's team